Emily had meant to ask why he was looking for her, but decided against it. The medicine bottles had stains of rot on the labels, suggesting some greater shape. They just needed to be put in the right order. But for what purpose? Emily stepped out into the humid night and found herself recognizing the Lafayette Cemetery. She hadn't been here for years, she thought, and in a way she still hadn't returned. This was something not quite the same. Hoping she would soon get to see her uncle, she set off to find the chapel mentioned in his book. It was the chapel where Jeremy had promised to mourn the mysterious Perosi. Maybe soon she would be able to talk to her uncle and have him end this madness. She just needed to find a way inside the chapel. Despite suffering the Heartwood curse herself, Emily never thought she would be seeing the dark man manifested in front of her eyes. To Emily, the curse was very much a psychological condition and not something that could suddenly step into a physical world. What did this mean? Could her own personal demons take form? Surely the only way to get any answers would be to find a way to the place Jeremy so desperately wanted to go. She needed to go to Tarawea.
She was beautiful. I wonder...
Perosi's fate remained a mystery to Emily. Was she a part of Jeremy's story? Or did she maybe have her own?
what happened to her. It's a telescope lens.
Jeremy had found a way to enter Tarawea, but he wasn't allowed to go. He knew deep down that it was impossible for him to cross that threshold. Instead, he hoped that Perosi would go in his place and burn his library to the ground so he could start again. But she never got the chance. Perosi had her own problems, her own demons, and she died suddenly one day without warning. Holding the telescope lens in her hands, Emily suspected what it was. At least a part of the key to that paradise Jeremy so desperately wanted to see. Curious what she would find, she felt eager to put the lens to use.
Why would he lock it in here? Wait, what's going on? It's entering the numbers by itself? Okay, great, so where is that?
Was this dream of Tarawea without a catch? A place for rest and comfort.
The significance of the constellation of Taurus may seem a bit opaque, but in my mind it all comes down to another symbol for the good and the evil within Jeremy, and in turn all of us. There are two things we find in that constellation that is of interest to us. First, the star Aldebaran. We often just call it the Dark Sun, which is a representation of Nyarlathotep and the presence of the Dark Man. In the same constellation we also find the Pleiades, which is said to house the great library of Celano, which in our game is called Tarawea. So, all in all, in this cosmic bull we find darkness in the Aldebaran and the light in Celano. Or in the terms of our game, in this celestial creature we find the Dark Man as well as Juan, the ultimate enemy and the ultimate ally as manifested by Jeremy. Finally, of course, what is a star constellation if not an effort to establish order out of the chaos that is nature, which is why the final puzzle of the game is rebuilding the constellation of Taurus.
Ah, here we go.